Welcome to Retirement Decoded with your host, Scott Tucker, where we break down the complexities of retirement planning to give you clear, actionable advice. Whether you're just starting out or getting ready to retire, Scott's here to help you make informed decisions and secure your financial future. Tune in each week as we simplify the process and decode the path to a stress-free retirement. Now, here's your host, Scott Tucker.
And welcome back to the Retirement Decoded podcast with Scott Tucker. I'm your host, Scott Tucker. My trusty podcast sidekick co-host, as always, is Associate Advisor Andre Hootie. Say hello, Andre Hootie.
Hello, Andre Hootie.
Andre Hootie, today our question comes from Kathy. Kathy says, my husband is retiring at the end of March and will make $30,000 for the year, so we will be $90,000 short of our needs. Neither of us is collecting Social Security yet. We have $2.6 million in retirement with $180,000 of that in Roth and no debt. What are your thoughts on him contributing all $30,000 to his 401k and taking additional $30K from IRA? What?
I'm a little confused.
What's the point?
Wait, so they want to take the 100% of his earnings, put it into a 401k to then take out the exact same amount out of the IRA?
I don't know. It's weird. Well, let's work backwards. Kathy, I would rather put it into his Roth 401k. Otherwise, what are we doing here? Poor Kathy. We have people write it into the podcast and they just make fun of them. No, not really, Kathy.
Yeah, we're just trying to decipher this, Kathy. Just in our language.
Kathy, life's confusing, isn't it? Yeah. It sure is. So Kathy says, Scott and Andre, my husband's retiring at the end of March. Congratulations. And he will make $30,000 for the year. So we'll be $90,000 short of our income needs. Neither of us is collecting Social Security yet, so they don't say their ages. So they're probably, I would probably think 62-ish or somewhere around there. That's kind of why they're bringing that up. We have $2.6 million in retirement. $180,000 of that is in Roth. Now, so one thing, Andre, like a broken record, only $180,000 of the $2.6 million is in Roth. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that's low. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that maybe that option just became available in their 401ks. But if not, we really should have been using this for.
They don't say 401ks. Exactly. My husband's retiring the end of March and we'll make $30,000 for the year. So we'll be $90,000 short of our income needs. Neither of us is collecting Social Security yet, which is probably wise if you're not, getting up towards 70 yet. We have $2.6 million in retirement. Of the $2.6 million in retirement, only $180,000 is in Roth. And so that's what we're saying. Kathy, we probably got to talk about Roth conversions just to consider them. Don't run out and do them. We got to talk about it first. TuckerRetirement.com and get on our phone calendar. $180,000 that's Roth, and then they have no debt. So, I mean, two really great things. You guys have saved $2.6 million for retirement, and you have no debt. That's really great. What we're a little weird about a lot of things, less than 10% of your money, $180,000. is in Roth. And so we got to probably look at that. Thoughts on him contributing all $30,000 that he earns to his, I would rather Roth 401k. Let's say that would be cool. So if it's going to go into a Roth 401k, I added the word Roth here because that's the only thing that makes sense to me, not just to put it in another 401k. Thoughts on him contributing the entire $30,000 he makes into his Roth 401k. Most plans will only let him put in about 50% because they need some money for tax withholding and that. So they usually will cap you at like 50%. You might find more than that, but they're not going to let you do 100% because it has to be Social Security, FICA, Medicare, FICA, federal withholding, state withholding, depending on your state. So Kathy didn't say what state you're in. We can help people all across the country. We're in Chicago, but we have clients all over the country. We can work with you through Zooms and phone calls and DocuSigns and things. Your thoughts on him contributing all $30,000 of his earnings into his Roth 401k? Probably he could get about $15,000 of it in there to the Roth 401k, maybe get a match, maybe not. But getting in Roth 401k would be a win. So Kathy, you need to ask at his new job if his new job has a Roth option on the 401k. That would be cool. And then taking an additional $30,000 distribution from traditional IRA. That kind of makes better sense now that we kind of rearranged the furniture there a little bit.
Yeah. If it's the Roth 401k contribution, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, and you're probably not going to get the whole 100% of it in there, Kathy. Just be forewarned and whatever like that. So probably $15,000 is about as much as they're going to let him put in there. But putting $15,000 into Roth 401k and then taking some amount of distribution from traditional IRA could make sense.
Yeah, cover what expenses.
What we're looking at is your long-term tax planning picture. The traditional IRA is just growing tax deferred, not tax free. It's growing larger, and you're headed for higher federal income taxes in 2026, 2028. So it really doesn't do you any favors. And then why we're picking on you about him saving into the 401k, we don't want to just have him save into a tax deferred account. Tax deferred accounts for most people in their 70s and beyond cause a lot of tax issues. So put the maybe $15,000, as much as they'll let him do of his pay, probably about $15,000 of his $30,000 of his new job can go into a Roth 401k. That'd be a heck of a lot better. And then, like we said earlier, you have $180,000 that's in Roth. The rest of your $2.6 million sounds like it's in tax deferred, or it could be some of it could be in non-qualified. So, Kathy, one of your biggest areas for opportunity is going to be in tax planning for retirement. And this is good with Kathy, unlike some other folks who write the podcast, Andre. Kathy's not asking us for hot investing tips.
Yeah, and you know what else I like? She isn't saying she's going out and filing for Social Security first. That's my personal favorite.
Oh my God! Yeah, we have people all the time. My husband and I aren't working. We're both 62. We're gonna run out and file Social Security.
Yeah, even though we've saved all this money.
We're gonna lock in a low, crappy benefit. We're gonna only get cost of living allowances that exclude the inflation in food and energy, and then we're gonna pay. Not only are we locking a crappy benefit and not keep up with inflation, then we're gonna pay taxes on our Social Security because we're also going to have to take money from IRA or whatnot. You know, that happens also. Oh boy. You found, if you're listening to podcasts now, you have found, if you're listening to podcasts now, you have found our hot button, right? Our weak spot in all this is people that tell us stuff like that.
I have a feeling Kathy's been listening.
I think that was Kathy trying to call. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, she can't listen to the podcast live.
No.
That'd be weird, right?
Yeah. But she probably knew we were reading the question. That's why.
Oh, she had her spidey senses.
Yeah, the spidey senses. What are you going to do?
How'd she get my cell phone number?
That's a good question.
Kathy, go to tuckerretirement.com. At tuckerretirement.com, you can see our phone calendar, and we'd be happy to, we'd be honored to talk to you for free, 15 minutes for free in the coming week over the telephone. Get your questions answered and your answers questioned. And go from there. Catch and release program. You don't have to pay us anything. And if you don't talk to us, talk to somebody, because you guys have saved $2.6 million. Congratulations. But let's not let you make mistakes, in some other areas. All of this is really important. You didn't say, Kathy, if you guys have kids or not, but or even if you don't have kids, I have an attitude that I don't want to spoil the government, or the government already. Every dollar I send to Washington, they spend $2, and then they tell me I'm in debt. I think we ought to have them on a diet. So maybe, Kathy, I don't know your ideas there, but I'd say just about all of us, the government, our federal government, does something we disagree with, and so put them on a diet. I mean, that's the way everybody else operates. Everybody else has to live within their means, right? Give us 5 stars wherever you listen to the podcast. Share the podcast on Facebook or email it to a friend. Whatever you can do. Probably could even text the episode to a friend. And we will talk to you on the next episode.
Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. has a strategic partnership with tax professionals and attorneys who can provide tax and or legal advice. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions. A Roth conversion is a taxable event and may have several tax-related consequences. Be sure to consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding your IRA. The views and opinions herein are those of Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of AE Wealth Management, LLC. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC. AEWM and Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. are not affiliated companies. Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. is an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. AEWM does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc. is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this podcast shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Scott Tucker Solutions, Inc.